The forest is never truly silent. City folk come here and whisper about how peaceful it is. They're wrong. The forest is a relentless cacophony of 1,000 tiny struggles. But now, standing in the heart of the Appalachian thicket, amidst the towering pines, everything has gone dead quiet. And it is that very silence that is terrifying me. My name is Mark. I'm a wildlife photographer. My job is to venture where human footsteps are rare and capture the raw beauty of nature. But this time, I wasn't chasing beauty. I was hunting a rumor. The locals call this stretch of woods the Weeping Grove. They weave legends about people vanishing without a trace. I never believed in such stories. Not until now. Sunset was an hour away, but the dense canopy barely allowed any light to bleed through. The air smelled of rotting leaves and a sharp, metallic tang, as if someone had left rusted iron out in the rain. I adjusted my camera, scanning the perimeter through the lens. My heart skipped a beat. About 50 yards away, framed between two massive oak trees, stood something. It was tall, at least 8 feet. Thin, impossibly thin. Its skin looked like wet, translucent paper stretched tight over bone. It wore no clothes, but the most horrifying part was its face, or rather, the lack of one. There was only a smooth, pale surface with a preternaturally long, black slit for a mouth. I forgot how to breathe. I couldn't believe my eyes. Was it a trick of the light? A bizarrely shaped trunk? I pressed the shutter. Click. That tiny sound cut through the forest like a blade. The creature, if you can call it that, slowly turned its head toward me. Even without eyes, I felt its gaze pin me to the spot. Its long, multi-jointed fingers scraped against the bark of a tree. The sound reminded me of human teeth grinding together. I backed away, slowly, carefully. The golden rule of the wild: never turn your back on a predator. But this wasn't a predator. This was something that defied the laws of nature. Suddenly, it moved. It didn't run. It moved in staccato bursts, like a glitching film reel. In a heartbeat, it had closed the distance from 50 yards to 30. I couldn't take it anymore. I spun around and bolted. My lungs felt like they were on fire. Branches whipped my face and thorny briars tore at my clothes. Only one thought hammered in my brain: just get to the car. If I reach the car, I'm safe. But the forest seemed to have shifted. The trail I had followed was gone, and the trees were growing denser by the second. Darkness swallowed everything. I flicked on my flashlight. The beam danced wildly between the trunks, and then the light hit something. That pale thing again. It stood directly in front of me, barely 10 paces away. It wasn't upright anymore. It was on all fours, crouched like an arachnid ready to pounce. A thick, yellowish fluid leaked from its mouth slit. I froze. My legs were shaking, and a cold sweat drenched my spine. "What do you want?" I screamed. My voice sounded thin, alien to my own ears. The creature didn't answer. Instead, it made a sound. But it wasn't an animal's cry. It was my voice. "What do you want?" it said, mimicking my exact tone, my exact terror. Horror numbed my mind. It had stolen my voice. It spoke again, but this time it was my mother's voice. "Mark, lunch is ready. Come inside." That was impossible. My mother had passed away 10 years ago. This thing was rummaging through my memories, using my deepest fears and loves as a weapon. I pulled out my knife, a small camping blade. It was a toy compared to this thing, but holding something gave me a shred of courage. The creature began to edge closer, its movements unnatural, its joints popping and cracking with every step. I aimed my flashlight directly at its chest. It flinched and shielded its face. Light. It was afraid of the light. I cranked the flashlight to its maximum setting and aimed it at the face. It let out a sharp, piercing shriek, not a human voice this time, but a sound of pure agony. Taking the chance, I threw myself down a slope to the right. I fell, tumbled, and slammed against rocks, but I didn't stop. Below was a small river. I plunged into the water. The icy shock brought me back to my senses. I scrambled to the other side and looked back. It stood on the bank, refusing to enter the water. It just stood there, staring at me. Then it spoke again. This time, it was a chorus of voices, men, women, children crying and laughing all at once. We will meet again, Mark. The forest never lets go of its prey. I spent the rest of the night by the river in a clearing, flashlight in one hand, knife in the other, jumping at every rustle of a leaf. When the first rays of dawn appeared, I found my way back to the car. I'm home now. I should be safe. But every time I close my eyes, I see that pale, faceless thing. Do you know what the worst part is? This morning, while reviewing the photos on my camera, I noticed something. In every single photo I took from the moment I entered the woods, even before I saw it, it was always there, behind me. In every frame, it was one step closer. And now, outside my window in the darkness of my backyard, I hear the sound of a branch snapping. I know it's not just the wind. It has learned my voice. Now it knows my address. A whisper drifted from behind the door. Mark, open the door. I'm home. It was my own voice.